Hi everyone, Jennifer here. Welcome to the Chic Assignment check-in for April. Okay, I am telling you, time is flying. So we are in the middle of April right now, and I am so excited to do this check-in with you. I love this series. It's bringing me joy, and I love hearing from you and your findings. So I hope you have your cup of tea, and I'd love for you to join us on this chat. Okay, the Chic assignment for April was to listen to Ave Maria, and I gave 2 performances for you to listen to. It was to study the works of Shelley, and you could have just listened to the poem that I read to you, or you could have taken it further and read more of his works on your own. It was to get dressed for no reason at all, and it was to have intentional rest. So let's start off with the first assignment, and that was listening to Ave Maria. Now, a few people reached out to me and let me know that when you pronounce Schubert's name, you say the T. I'm always confused about those rules, and I think because the only foreign language that I speak is French, I tend to make the T silent, but it is Schubert, okay? It is Schubert. Very strong. And yeah, I really enjoyed listening to Ave Maria. I listened to it several times this month, and I linked that CD below that I have. I think it's called Ave Maria by Laserlight Classics. My CD is so old that it's scratched, and I'm actually going to buy it again because, quite honestly, this CD in particular, this album, CD is such an old-fashioned thing to say, this album is just amazing. Every piece on this album is a masterpiece. And I will put this on in the morning, and then right about song 2 or 3, it starts to scratch and the CD will skip, and it's so disappointing. It's like a masterpiece has been interrupted, you know? So I do need a new one. I'll probably just buy it digitally. That has some beautiful renditions of Ave Maria on it. There are so many synchronistic things this month with the assignment, but did you see that video that went viral of the dad singing Ave Maria, and he was on vacation and he's with his little girl, and it was one of those impromptu videos. I love those on YouTube where suddenly somebody breaks out into song or somebody plays an instrument. So he is at a resort, I think, and the pianist in the lobby is playing Ave Maria, and he steps in and he sings, and his voice is incredible. You look at him and you don't think, you know, he sounds like an opera singer. You don't think that that's something he'd be interested in because he's kind of a sporty guy. But he just belts out Ave Maria, and it's so good. And the best part is how his little girl is looking up at him, and she is so proud of her daddy. She just wants everybody to know, that's my daddy. And oh, I want to cry just thinking about it. Honestly, it's the best. I will link that viral video down below. You have to see it. It's so good. Let me put my cup of tea down here because I want to read you a new Shelley poem today. I'm just going to read an excerpt from one. But also, did you know that this is National Poetry Month? I didn't plan that, honestly. I really didn't plan it. But after I posted my Chic assignment, I saw that and I thought, oh, that's pretty good. So we are studying the works of Shelley. So I was pretty shocked to read about Shelley's private life. I had no idea that he led such a tumultuous life. This is almost a literal reenactment of what happened when I was reading about Shelley's life. Take a look. I'm telling you, if you haven't read his biography, you have to check it out. It's something. But anyway, today I thought I would read this, and I just kind of randomly opened to a poem, and I thought this one sounds good. Lines written among the Euganean hills. And so I can picture Shelley and the rolling hills, like just a beautiful romantic meadow with his white billowy shirt lying there brooding and writing this poem. So I'm not going to read the whole poem, but I will read the first part of it. Many a green isle needs must be in the deep wide sea of misery, or the mariner worn and wan never thus could voyage on, day and night and day, drifting on his dreary way, with the solid darkness black closing round his vessel's track, whilst above the sunless sky, big with clouds, hangs heavily, and behind the tempest fleet hurries on with lightning feet, riving sail and cord and plank, till the ship has almost drank death from o'er the brimming deep, and sinks down, down like that sleep, when the dreamer seems to be weltering through eternity, and the dim low line before of a dark and distant shore still recedes as ever still, longing with divided will, but no power to seek or shun, he is ever drifted on. O'er the unresponsive wave to the haven of the grave, what if there no friends will greet? What if there no heart will meet? His with love's impatient beat, wander wheresoever he may, can he dream before that day, to find refuge from distress, in friendship's smile, in love's caress? Then 'twill wreak him little woe, whether such there be or no. Senseless is the breast and cold, which relenting love would fold. Bloodless are the veins and chill, which the pulse of pain did fill. Every little living nerve, that from bitter words did swerve, round the tortured lips and brow, are like sapless leaflets now, frozen upon December's bough. He is so good with words. But I find this a bit chilling because he died by drowning, and it's almost like this is foreshadowing his death, which is quite chilling. So anyway, the works of Shelley, quite deep and food for thought. Before we move on from the poetry subject, I hope that you have seen my film with Nikki Moreno. If you haven't, I really strongly urge you to check it out. I'm going to leave it in the info box below. But she created a film around a poem that I wrote called Surroundings, and it is so beautiful and it's powerful. It's like the poem combined with the cinematography is just so visually impactful. So I wanted to read my poem to you here. Surroundings. We want them to comfort us on a hard, long day in the trenches of daily life. We look to our surroundings to bring us cheer. It isn't always so. Sometimes our surroundings are the cause of our despair. Other people have a way of orchestrating that. But amidst every mess and every day that seems impossible to surmount is the breakthrough of gratitude for our surroundings, whatever state they are in. One can always find loveliness if one truly looks, and today, that is what I found. When Nikki asked me to write a poem about surroundings, it took me a few days to ponder the subject, and I thought about my own surroundings right now. And often when I think about my surroundings, I think, oh, I wish I could change our bathrooms, or I wish I could change my kitchen, or I wish these toys were more organized, or, you know, I kind of immediately go to the negative. But I wanted to write a poem that would speak to people and that people could relate to, but then to also inspire them too, because whenever my mind goes there and I go to ingratitude first, I think, Jennifer, are you crazy? You are so fortunate to have these surroundings, to have a home, to have a roof over my head, to have a husband and children who love me. And, you know, I just become overwhelmed with feelings of gratitude for what I have, you know. And so I wrote that poem, and it does mean a lot to me. And I hope that that poem, gosh, I'm going to cry. I hope that this poem inspires you to find beauty in your surroundings and find loveliness and to just be grateful for what you have and to give thanks for that. And it doesn't mean that we, aren't going to change our surroundings. It just means right in the present moment, the most powerful thing you can have is gratitude for your surroundings. Okay, moving on to the next Chic assignment, we're going to talk about getting dressed up for no reason. A lot of you sent me testimonials about this already. I have a video coming out about this very topic really soon. I recorded a bunch of 10-item wardrobe kind of pep talk videos, so I do have one coming out about this. And it's just a powerful thing, again, to dress well every day, even when you have nowhere to go. So I have a little funny story. Yesterday, I came home. It was such a long day. I've been really tired. I've talked about this in other videos. And, because as I'm shooting this, Ben is still out of town, okay? He's been gone for a while. He's helping his family out in England. So I'm with the kids. And it's been hard, to say the least, to have everybody and not have him around. I came home and it was a long day with the kids. I plan to do some stretches for my back because I have sciatica. That's a whole other story. So anyway, I put on some exercise pants. Like I have these Capri sweatpants. I think I've worn them in one of my rebounding videos before. And I put those on and I was just kind of like gonna just stretch and do a few things in the afternoon. And literally as soon as I put those on, we get a knock on the door and it's our neighbor. And I'm like, this is just so typical. You know, I look presentable almost always, like as presentable as I can be. And then the second that I put on, you know, exercise pants, which I never do, we get a knock on the door. So I thought that was quite funny. That's just it. That's what happens. I wanted to read a comment from Barbara who wrote in on the Chic Assignment, and she said, "So today I dressed up for no reason. Since it's still very cool here in Toronto, Canada, I wore a warm dress with tights and pearl necklace to work. I work at a large university campus and one of my colleagues noticed. She said, 'I like that dress, it's very pretty.' It made me feel good. Thanks for this assignment, Jennifer. I may repeat it again next week." Thank you, Barbara, for checking in. I really love that. I love hearing those little testimonials. And then the last thing we are talking about is rest, intentional rest. I put out a video last week on stress. If you haven't seen that, I urge you to see that one too. I've been doing intentional rest, you know, as per the Chic Assignment, and I'm doing it several times throughout the day. I really need that. So sometimes I will just stop, I will read a book. Usually my inclination when I stop is to pick up my phone and check my email and go on Instagram. I've noticed that about myself, but I'm saying no, and I will sit down, read a book with a cup of tea. Or I played backgammon with my daughter. I've been playing the piano. I've just been taking intentional rest. At night, I have been having a long hot soak and I read in the bathtub. That has been very helpful for me as well. I do recommend that you watch my stress video that I put out last week, and I will link that below as well. But I'd love to hear about your intentional rest journey and any of the Chic assignments from this month. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for joining me today on The Daily Connoisseur, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!